This lesson is on slope, and we've already talked about this quite a bit this year, but this is going to be a really big concept for you next year in algebra. So we're going to start talking a little bit more about that and maybe even get into some new concepts for you guys. So the term slope is used to describe the steepness of a straight line. We know that the slope is the ratio of the rise, which is the vertical change. Remember when I had you rise, that was up and down. Let me try that again. That was up and down, so that would be the y-axis. And it's the ratio of the rise to the run, which is your horizontal change, which would be the x-axis, which goes this way. Okay, very similar to what we did in the previous lesson. So example number 1 says that a ride at amusement park rises 8 feet every horizontal change of 2 feet. Okay, so it rises 8 feet, so it's telling you that that part is the rise. So this is the rise. And then for every horizontal change, which is our run. Okay, so how could you determine the slope of the ride? So we know that m, our slope, rises 8, has a run of 2, okay, and so that would be 4. Okay, keep in mind that was 8 feet to 2 feet, so here the answer is just 4 with no label. All right, for example 2, it just says to find the slope of the treadmill. Okay, so our slope here is going to be our rise, okay, versus our run. So it looks like our rise here goes from here all the way down to here is 10 inches. Okay, and then the run would be the 48 inches. Okay, notice inches are going to be gone. And we can reduce this. 10 and 48 are both even, so this becomes 5 and 24 for our slope. All right, example 3 says the graph shows the cost of muffins at a bake sale and to find the slope of this line. So remember, when you're dealing with a graph and you're trying to find a slope, your best bet is to find 2 points where the line goes through that point nicely. So here are 2 points that they have outlined for you. So this first point is the point 24. The second point is the point 36. And what we're really the most focused on is coming up with our rise and our run. Okay, now remember, your rise and your run can be on top or it could be down below that line. So it looks like our rise goes from 4 to 6. So the rise is 2, and the run goes from 2 to 3 with our run of 1. Okay, so our slope, we have a rise of 2. Keep in mind, our rise is our total cost. Okay, so that 2 is representing $2 over our run of 1, which is the muffins. So 1 muffin. Okay, so our slope is 2, and we could say it is $2 per muffin. The other thing that I want to remind you of is you didn't necessarily have to use these 2 points. Okay, you can use any 2 points as long as they go through the grid at a specific point. So for example here, okay, we've got a rise of 2 and a run of 1. All right, this is a new concept for you. It's called the slope formula. And you're going to see when you get into Algebra 1, your Algebra 1 teacher is going to have you use this formula to help you find slope. And so all that you really have to remember is that your slope formula is still your vertical change versus your horizontal change. And so as we go through this, you're going to want to just kind of keep that in mind. So let me go ahead and make a triangle here. Okay, let's say that we have a line specifically that goes through these 2 points here. Okay, so I've created my slope. Okay, if you think about it, what you're really doing here is you're taking the height of here, let me do this in another color. You're taking the height here and you're comparing that to the height here. Okay, well this height is y2, whereas this height is actually y1. So what you're doing here is you're taking y2 and you're subtracting y1. Now the 1 and the 2's are not exponents, they're just there to differentiate the difference between one of the x's and the other x. Okay, it's just kind of like a little name attached to the variable. So don't think that those are exponents. Okay, and then our x value, so if we're trying to figure out the change in our x, we've got x1 is this location, and then this location here would be considered x2. So then it would be x2 minus x1. So this is the slope formula. Okay, if you only have 2 points, you can go ahead and do the slope formula, and you can find the slope that way. So let's try that on the next example. All right, example 4 says that the table shows the number of pages Garrett has left to read after a certain number of minutes. The points lie on a line, and to find the slope of the line by using both the table and by using the slope formula. So we're going to do the table first, okay, just the same way that we've always done this. We know that that went up by 2, and up by 2. Let's see, this went down by 3, and down by 3. So using the table, okay, it's very clear here that our slope would be down 3, so negative 3 over 2. And this means that he's basically reading 3 pages per every 2 minutes. So the number of pages left goes down 3 pages every 2 minutes that he reads. Okay, now with the slope formula, so here's our slope formula. In high school, you'll use the slope formula if all they give you are 2 points. So let me outline. Let's say that we're going to use, let's say that we're going to use these 2 points here and these 2 points here. Okay, so let's say that the problem gives you the point 112, and then they give you 3, 9. Okay, all you have to do here is make one of them x1, y1, and make one of them x2, y2. Okay, so our formula says y2 minus y1, and that's just showing again the change in your y values over the change in your x values. Okay, now the important thing is that whatever, if you start out with y2 minus y1, you need to make sure it's x2 minus x1. Okay, so y2, we've decided that y2 is 9. Minus y1, we've decided 9(1) is 12. x2, we've decided x2 is 3. Minus x1, which we said was 1. So 9 minus 3 would be negative 3 over 2. And as you can see, we ended up getting the same exact slope here. We could have done this with any other point. Okay, so let me show you an example here. I'll try doing, let's see. Let's choose these 2 points. Okay, so let's say we've got the ordered pair 5, 6 and 7, 3. Okay, so again, our slope was y2 minus y1, x2 over x1. It does not matter which of these I choose to be x1, y1 and x2, y2. Let's let this one be x1, y1, and we'll let this one be x2, y2. Okay, so y2 is 6 minus y1 is 3. y2 is 5 minus x2 is 5 while x1 is 7. So we get 3 over negative 2. Keep in mind that other one we got negative 3 over 2, but these are equal because it's one negative sign, so we know the whole thing is in fact negative. As you go through your homework, you are very, very welcome to just do the change that we've been doing, okay, that you are used to. However, if that seems kind of easy, you might do it that way, and then you might try this new slope formula here that I showed you, just so that you have at least tried it a couple of times prior to next year in high school. Okay. Feel free to email me if you have any questions, and don't forget to take a picture of your homework and then upload that to Google Classroom. Thank you.